So let us start the another theory chapter, number 27, about the enthelmentics. So first we have to define what is the meaning of enthelmentics or the definition. So first we have to define the enthelmentic. So enthelmentic are defined as the drug which are either kill the worms or expel the worms or helminth present in the gastrointestinal tract, other tissues, and organ of the body is called enthelmentic. So this is the definition of enthelmentics. Defined as the drug that we are going to use to kill the parasitic worm or helminth, that we call it vermicide, and as well as if the drug is going to expel out the helminth or parasitic worms that are reside in or present in gastrointestinal tract, other tissue or organ of the body is called enthelmentic. So when we are going to specifically specify that the drug is going to kill the worm, that we call it the vermicide or vermicide enthelmentic, or if the enthelmentic is going to only expel it out, then we are going to call it the vermifuge or vermifuge enthelmentic. The word helminth is derived from a Greek word helmenes or helminthos, which means worm. So this is the meaning of the helminth. Now we have to classify the drug in different group of enthelmentic, broadly based upon the type of species, different type of species, or the type of worm. So the classification is based upon the type of species or the worms. This may be antinematodal, anticystodal, and antitrematodal enthelmentic. So this is the three type. So when we are telling in the classification of enthelmentic, that is the antinematodal enthelmentic, then we are telling that the enthelmentic that are going to either kill or expel the nematode or roundworm is called antinematodal enthelmentic. When we use enthelmentic against the cestode, or you can say the tapeworm, which kill or expel the tapeworm or tiniacidal drug, is called anticystodal. And if the enthelmentic is going to kill or expel the fluke, it may be liver fluke or other fluke that is coming under the trematode, then we are going to call it the antitrematodal enthelmentic. That means they are going to kill the trematodes or expel the trematodes like flukes, and we call it the antitrematodal enthelmentics. Now we have to go through the in detail about the drug that we are going to use as a anti-nematodal enthelmentic. So now we are going to discuss the classification of first one, that is the anti-nematodal enthelmentics, that we already defined. The enthelmentic which either kill or expel the roundworm or nematodes are called anti-nematodal enthelmentics, and its classification, I mean anti-nematodal enthelmentic classification, is based upon the chemical structure of the different type of the drug. So now we are going to discuss about the drug. of or for antinematode coming under the antinematodal anthelmintics. So first one under this, the drug group is benzimidazoles. Benzimidazole and its prodrug. Prodrug of benzimidazole is also called probenzimidazole. So first group include benzimidazole and probenzimidazole. Under the example of benzimidazole, the drug usually or maximum number of the drug that have the suffix like bendazole, like albendazole, tiabendazole, thiabendazole, fenbendazole, mebendazole, oxybendazole, chembendazole, flubendazole, and oxfendazole. So these all are the benzimidazole. Other benzimidazole that are in form of the prodrug, we call it the probenzimidazole. Means ki the drug itself is not working without metabolism. So after its metabolism, it get converted into metabolite and become active. So metabolites of the probenzimidazole is active and producing anthelmintic property. Under these, there are three drugs: fabental, netobimine, and thiophanate. Regarding fabental is concerned, the metabolite of fabental is, or you can say are, fenbendazole, then fenbendazole sulfoxide, and then oxybendazole. So these three are the metabolite of fabental. So here a spelling of fabental is Fe. So their metabolites is also started with the Fe, like fenbendazole, fenbendazole sulfoxide, and oxybendazole. The second one is the netobimine. The metabolite of netobimine is albendazole. And the last one is the thiophanate. The metabolite of thiophanate is lobendazole. So this is all about the probenzimidazole. Now we have to go through the second drug that we are calling antinematodal anthelmintic. Are actually antibiotics, and chemically they are macrocyclic lactone. So we are calling it the macrocyclic antibiotic or macrolides antibiotics. So these the drug coming under the macrocyclic lactones or macrolides antibiotics are antibiotics. They are subdivided into two parts: ivermectin, and the second one is the milbemycin. Ivermectin, under this group, the drug is coming ivermectin. Other are like doramectin, eperinomectin, abamectin, selamectin. But the important is the ivermectin. Under the milbemycin, there are two very good examples are milbemycin oxime and the milbemycin B. So milbemycin B is also called moxidectin. So these two are the milbemycin. Now third antinematodal anthelmintic is imidazothiazole. Imidazothiazole, the example are tetramizole, levamisole, betamizole. Next one is the tetrahydropyrimidine. Actually, tetrahydropyrimidine is the derivative of imidazothiazole. Tetrahydro and their mechanism of action against the worm is almost same. I mean imidazothiazole and tetrahydropyrimidine. Under the tetrahydropyrimidines, the examples are pyrental, morental, oxgental. Next anthelmintic for the nematode is organophosphorus compound. That means ki the drug under this they are going to inhibit the enzyme. We call it acetylcholine esterase. So they are acetylcholine esterase enzyme inhibitor. Under this, the drug are dichlorophos, metryptonate, comafos, haloxone, crufomate, naphthalofos. So these are the organophosphorus compound. Now we have to go through the another group for the anti-nematodal anthelmintic is piperazine. So piperazine, the drug are itself piperazine, and another drug is diethylcarbamazine. This diethylcarbamazine is one of the choice drug for treatment of filariasis in human against the Wucheria bancrofti, and this drug is very much used for the human filariasis treatment, and the drug is coming in the trade name like hetrazine. Next one is the arsenicals. Under the arsenicals, the examples are thiacetarsamide, melarsomin, glycobiarsol, and arsenamide. So these all are the arsenicals or arsenic compound. Now the one is left under the group that act against the anti-nematodal anthelmintic or act against the nematode are substituted phenols and salicylinide and miscellaneous drug. Under the substituted phenols and salicylinide, the drugs are disophenol, nitrosinate, nitroxynyl, and clogental. Whereas the miscellaneous drugs are phenothiazine, tetrahydroethylene, N-butyl chloride, toluene, thenium closilate, then dithiazanine iodide, and hygromycin B. So these all are the miscellaneous drugs. So this is all about the classification of anti-nematodal anthelmintics, which is about 9 in number. Now we have to go through the one by one regarding the dose, regarding the side effect, regarding the more silent feature. So first we have to go through the benzimidazole and probenzimidazole. Regarding benzimidazole and probenzimidazole, example we already discussed. Now we have to go through the mechanism of action. Regarding mechanism of action of the drug is concerned, the drug is going to bind with the parasite beta tubulin, and after binding with the parasite beta tubulin, it inhibits the microtubule polymerization. So finally, by binding with the beta tubulin of the worms or helminth, it inhibits the microtubule polymerization, and this is the primary mechanism of action. So this is important. This is the primary mechanism of action. So if you are not recalling this primary mechanism of action to write, then you have to go for the other mechanism. Other mechanism of action of the drug under the benzimidazole or probenzimidazole is concerned, they are usually inhibiting the energy supply system of the parasite or the worm. So how they are inhibiting the energy supply system of the parasite? Either they uncouple oxidative phosphorylation, either it reduce glucose transport, either inhibit the enzyme which participating in the energy system, that is the mitochondrial fumarate reductase. So this way, by inhibiting this enzyme, reducing glucose transport and uncoupling of oxidative phosphorylation, it will affect the energy system supply of the parasite, and therefore energy is deficit, and then parasite either die or either expel it out. Regarding the function of microtubule polymerization microtubule is concerned, microtubule polymerization perform many function in the nematodes. So that is why microtubule is very important for the worm, particularly nematodes and other helminth. Now we have to go through the one very important thing is that whether we have to give the drug as a single attempt or we have to give in divided dose. So whether we have to give as a single dose or divided dose. But as we know, in animal we don't have this type of facility to give divided dose. So we usually administering as a single dose. But the benefit of divided dose is that it will enhance the efficacy of benzimidazole. How? Because if we are giving the drug in divided dose, then the drug and the parasite get more time to in contact. Drug and parasite both are in more time in contact when we are giving it in the divided dose, and therefore it will produce more efficacy. But this will not possible in animal because you have to divide and give again and again a drug to the animal. This is not uh, possible in the animal. Yes, we have to do other option like that. We have to mix in the feed if this type of facility is available for feed or not. Then we have to see that. Likewise, on the same principle, the drug is rather more efficacious in ruminant and horses compared to the simple stomach, because in ruminant and horses drug will pass out from the structure of the stomach of ruminant and horses, taking more time. So therefore drug is more time is there in the stomach, so more contact time with the parasite, and therefore more efficacy in ruminant as well as the horses. Whereas in simple stomach, the drug will take less time and come out from the stomach, and therefore less contact time of the drug with the parasite and less efficacious. This is the very important. Regarding resistance of the parasite against the drug, they develop by changing in the structure of the gene that participating in the beta tubulin synthesis. So they are the resistant helminth, resistant parasite. They change the target of that drug by modifying the beta tubulin structure, and therefore the binding capability of the drug to the beta tubulin get reduces and less efficacious. So this way this is going to produce the resistance problem. Now we have to go through the drug under the benzimidazole one by one. So first drug under this is the tiabendazole or thiabendazole. So tiabendazole and thiabendazole, we are considering this is the prototype of the drug because this is the first benzimidazole, and therefore this is considered as the prototype of the benzimidazole. So this is very important. Regarding activity is concerned, broad spectrum and active against all major GI nematodes in sheep, goat, cattle, horses. Regarding dosage is concerned, for the dog, cattle and poultry is like for dog 50 mg per kg orally for 3 days, and for cattle, sheep, goats, swine, horses, which ranges between 50 to 70 mg per kg orally as single dose. So this is important. In poultry, the dose is quite high, 250 to 500 mg per kg orally as a single dose. So here in the dog, we have to give for 3 days. Now we have to go next is albendazole. Albendazole is the very most usable benzimidazole, is the broad spectrum, widely used and used for the treatment of nematodes and trematodes in large animal. Also, it is active against the GI parasite of cattle, other ruminants, and the species is like that. The species is like this, and this is also active against the tapeworm, flukes. So, particularly the Phaceula hepatica, and therefore this become very important. And also active in the other than cattle, other ruminant. The active metabolite of albendazole is also present. Of course, albendazole is also itself is the active moiety of the benzimidazole, but within the body it also get metabolized, and their metabolites are active. So active metabolites of albendazole are albendazole sulfoxide, ricobendazole are the active moiety. And because the albendazole is the teratogenic in property, so we are generally not going to administer the drug in first trimester of pregnancy. So this is important, not to give in the first trimester of the pregnancy because of the teratogenic property of the drug. And if you want to give more efficacy on the luminal intraluminal parasite, then you have to give in the empty stomach. And if you want to affect the drug on tissue parasite, then you have to give the drug with the fatty meal. So this is very, very important 2 point. Regarding the dose is concerned, it varies as per the species. This is not easy to recall. So in cattle and other ruminant, you will find that is it lies between 5 to 10 mg per kg orally. This is all about the and swine also. For horses, it is 25 mg per kg orally for 5 days. For adult fluke, in cattle, the dose is 10 mg per kg orally, and sheep 7.5 mg per kg orally. So this is about the albendazole. Now we have to go through the fenbendazole. Fenbendazole, what is important about the fenbendazole? Is the drug that we have to use in the pregnancy also. So this is the, I think among all the benzimidazole, I only found the fenbendazole that should be used in case of pregnant animals. So this is very, very interesting one. Now this is broad spectrum. This is important. Acting against almost all nematodes of the farm and zoo animals. Also against the Giardia in dog. And also the drug is used for larvae of Toxocara canis and Cyclostoma caninum during the pregnancy, also that we already mentioned. Fenbendazole active metabolite is also present like albendazole, and their metabolite is fenbendazole sulfoxide and also oxfendazole. So oxfendazole and the fenbendazole are the metabolites. Fenbendazole metabolite is the oxfendazole. So this is the oxfendazole is the active metabolite of the fenbendazole. The drug is possessing wide margin of safety. So this is very, very important. Also not embryotoxic and not teratogenic. So therefore the drug is going to be used for pregnant animal also. So this is very, very important. But the drawback with this drug is that the withdrawal period is high. So withdrawal or the residual period of the drug is high. So that is the problem. So this is for the dairy cattle and food producing animal. For the meat is 14 days withdrawal period and 72 hours for milk. And therefore that is not approved for lactating dairy cattle and food producing animal because of the withdrawal period long. Regarding the dose is concerned, you also find the dose is lies in between the 5 to 10 mg per kg body weight, and you have to go through a species wise. The some slight variation is there. So the dose is 7.5 mg orally single dose. Then sheep, goat, pigs that is the 5 mg per kg orally single dose. Then the bird 10 mg per kg single dose. Then horses 5 mg per kg orally single dose. And this is also for the migrating larvae of large strongyles. But in the dog, the dose is high, about 50 mg per kg orally for 3 days. Or for lungworm infection in dog, it is for 7 days. So this is all about the fenbendazole. Now we have to go through the mebendazole. Regarding mebendazole is concerned, this is also embryotoxic, so not recommended in pregnant animal. So because of embryotoxic and teratogen, first important point. Other important point is generally not given to animal, not used in the cattle. So this is another important point. This is no doubt broad spectrum, acts against the gastrointestinal nematode of horse, sheep, dog, and cats. Also against the lungsworm, tapeworm of sheep, dog, cats. So this is very, very important. And the dose is also the same 5 to 10 mg in majority of cases. And in dog, the dose is multiple days, and the dose is about 25 to 50 mg per kg orally for 5 days, and for the sheep, horse, and poultry is about 5 to 10 mg per kg body weight. Now we have to go through the oxybendazole. Oxybendazole is also coming in combination product with the diethylcarbamazine. Diethylcarbamazine is the drug belongs to piperagines. So this is coming for the treatment of dogs, dog treatment. And no doubt this is broad spectrum, acting against the GI roundworm and lungsworm, and the dose is this one, so we are not going to discuss much. Cambendazole. Cambendazole is also the broad spectrum, against active against the roundworm and also against the tapeworm. So this is, but there is narrow safety of margin in cattle and embryotoxic. So embryotoxic other than fenbendazole, you will no doubt not found to use. Next is flubendazole. So regarding the flubendazole also is the broad spectrum, and mainly used for the pig and birds. So this is the important one. Mainly we use for the pig and birds, and active moiety, the active against the GI roundworm and lungsworm in the swine, and also active against the gape worms and lungsworm in game birds. Regarding the dose is concerned, in pig 5 mg per kg orally, in poultry 30 gram per ton in feed for roundworm for 7 days, and 60 gram per ton in feed for tapeworm for 7 days. Now is the broad spectrum. Another benzimidazole is parbendazole, that is also broad spectrum, acting against the nematode, I mean roundworm, GI roundworm and lungsworm, but it is potentially teratogen and embryotoxic. So no need to go through the dose, because this is the not to be used in the pregnant. If you want, then you have to give the non-pregnant cattle and horses. Then the dose horses, the dose in cattle, sheep, and swine is 30 mg per kg orally as a single dose, and for horses 5 to 20 mg per kg orally as a single dose. This is all about the benzimidazole. Now we have to go through the benzimidazole prodrug that we already mentioned. There are three drugs: the favental, the metabolite we already discussed. Their in vivo metabolites are fenbendazole, fenbendazole sulfoxide, and oxybendazole. So this is the active metabolites of the probenzimidazole and broad spectrum. And of course, they are acting against the therapeutic use is the GI roundworm in horse, ruminants, pigs, and pigeon. Also, it removes the abomasal intestinal nematodes, lungworms, and trematodes. Also acting against the various worms of the dog like hookworm, roundworm, whipworm, tapeworm, and also in the cat. And also to be used in case of horse, and as I have mentioned, this is also not to be used in pregnant animal. So this is very, very important because this is the going to produce the fetal abnormality and increase the abortion. So this is important. Regarding the Fabental combination that is coming in the market is with the metryphenate and with the praziquantel. So metryphenate is coming for the horse for the control of mouth and stomach stage of bots, and for the dog and cat with the praziquantel as a intestinal parasite like hookworms, whipworm and tapeworm. And the dose is in cattle is cattle is 7.5 mg per kg. Horses is the same 6 mg per kg, and the swine, sheep and swine is 5 mg per kg, and pigeon is 30 mg per kg, and orally as a single dose. So this is about the Favental. Now we have to go through the natobimine, another benzimidazole, as a prodrug. Active metabolite is albendazole. So albendazole, what the property have? This natobimine also have. Acting against GI nematode, the larvae, their larvae, lungs worm, and adult fluke. And same to the albendazole, they are embryotoxic and teratogenic at high dosage, and therefore that is not going to be give similar to the albendazole in the first trimester of the pregnancy. Regarding the usage that we already mentioned against the roundworm and tapeworm in cattle and sheep, at the dose rate of 7 mg per kg orally as a single dose, and for adult fluke for cattle and sheep is 20 mg per kg orally. The third and the last one under the probenzimidazole is thiophanate, and the thiophanate active metabolites is the lobendazole. So this is very, very important. Lobendazole. This drug is very safe even at high doses. So this is important. And they are active against most of the roundworm of the ruminants and pigs. So this is important one, thiophanate. And the dose for the cattle, sheep, goat is 50 mg per kg orally as a single dose, and for the pig is 15 to 12 mg per kg orally for 14 days. So this is all about the first one, that is the benzimidazole and probenzimidazole. Now we have to go through the another group that we call it the antibiotic. And because the chemically poses lactone ring, which is macrocyclic, so macrocyclic lactone antibiotic or macrolide antibiotics. Because this is antibiotic, that means the antibiotics isolated from the microorganism. So they are isolated from the microorganism Streptomyces species, and their action is both against ectoparasite as well as the endoparasite, which may be the internal mature and immature nematodes. Here I am going to mention one very, very important thing about the benzimidazole that I forget to explain, that mm, regarding its selectivity, against the worm. So the target beta tubulin is specifically have some more some difference with the mammal one, although they are also going to affect the tubulin of the mammals also, but at very high dose. So the drugs are specifically for the helminth or worm, and their therapeutic index is very, very high. So you can say selectivity towards the helminths or worm. So this is very, very important one. So now we are discussing about the macrocyclic lactone or macrolide antibiotic. We are talking about the endectocide. So what is the meaning of endectocide? This word or the terminology means कि you want to define it. So this term is equal to ectoparasite plus endoparasite. Means कि the drug as a enthelemtic act against both ectoparasite and endoparasite is called endectocide. So this is the definition of endectocide. And therefore they are acting against the internal mature as well as immature nematodes, and this is very very important because immature is very important, and also active against the external arthropods or ectoparasite. So therefore endoparasite and ectoparasite called endectocide. That we already discussed. They are divided into two types, ivermectin and the another one is the milbemycin. Regarding ivermectin, the most important drug is the ivermectin, that we are going to discuss mainly about the ivermectin. So as the antibiotic, so they are derived from, ivermectin is derived from, isolated from the soil microorganism Streptomyces ivermitilis. So this is the species from which ivermectin is isolated. Other important point, they are highly potent drug. So this is very important. And they are also active against the ectoparasite like arthropods. But they are not active against the platyhelminths like cestode and flukes. So this is another important point. They are not active against the platyhelminths like tapeworm and the flukes. Another question is arises why? That we are going, this is based upon totally the mechanism of action and the target mechanism of action, that means the target of the drug, that is the glutamate gated chloride channel, that we are going to discuss. So ivermectin, that isolated from Streptomyces ivermitilis, is actually mixture of 8 component, 4 major component and 4 minor component. Under the major component, the type are A, B, B, and the minor is also A, B, B. Under the A, 1, 2, under the B, also 1, 2. And for the major, you put only A. For the minor, you only put B. So this is the 4 major component and this is the 4 minor component. Regarding mechanism of action is concerned, a particular type of receptor is present in nerve cell of the nematodes and arthropod as well as its muscle cells, and that particular type of receptor we call it glutamate gated chloride channel receptor. So what will happen? The drug that are antibiotics belong to either ivermectin, milbemycin, are going to bind with the parasite, nematodes and arthropods glutamate gated chloride channel receptor, and after binding with this receptor in the parasite or the helminth or the worm, they open the chloride channel. So when chloride influx occur, it gives the hyperpolarization and the paralysis of the worm, and finally death will occur. Particularly for the ticks, in addition of paralysis, the drug also affect the reproductive cycle. So this is all about the mechanism of action of the ivermectin or milbemycin. What is other important point that I want to mention here? The drug is not active against the platyhelminthic and also against the mammal. Why? Because in platyhelminths, the ivermectin induced glutamate gated chloride channel receptor is not found in platyhelminthes. So in case of mammal as well as in case of platyhelminthes, this the absence of ivermectin sensitive glutamate chloride channel is rather lacking in mammal as well as in platyhelminthes, and therefore this will not act against the platyhelminthes and usually not show toxicity against the mammal. But when it crosses the blood-brain barrier and come in the central nervous system, then this is going to produce the toxicity. So, and this crossing of the ivermectin under the avermectin is only seen in some breed of the dog, like Coolie breed of the dog, and also some more breed that I am going to mention. So now we have to discuss the first drug under the avermectin, that is ivermectin. So ivermectin is semi-synthetically derived from avermectin B1A, that is more than 80% from B1A and 20 less than 20% B1B, that is 22-23 dihydro ivermectin B1, and its activity is against the nematodes. So wide range of nematodes is covering. So it is used in horse for large and small strongyles, scaries, pinworm, hairworm, bots, lungworm, intestinal threadworm, and in cattle and swine, intestinal roundworm and lungworm. In case of dog, ivermectin is too much usable, and this is also used for the immature. This is very important. Immature Dirophilaria immatis, and this is very much effective against the immature, even more better than the adult. And in addition to this acting against the nematodes, they are also acting against the ectoparasite like cattle grub, suckling lice, mites, horn flies. So therefore they are active against the ectoparasite, and therefore this is one of the most usable drug for dogs, ectoparasite. This is very important one. And one more important point is that we have to also use as a preventive measure also this ivermectin. Why? Because even after the period of some day of treatment, if the drug is showing efficacy against the sensitive nematodes or ectoparasite. Regarding the toxicity that I have mentioned, that is the rough-haired Coolie breed of dog, another that Coolie breed of dog, Australian Shepherd, then Shetland Sheepdog, then this is also, and therefore because of this type of toxicity, the ivermectin is contraindicated in Coolie breed of the dog or the Coolie mixed breed of the dog. So this is important one. Regarding safety margin is concerned, safety margin is high, which is about more than 30 times of this one, and not recommended in a young one, calf below 12 week of age, puppies below 6 week of age. So this is important. In horse, what will happen after the administration? After the 24-hour of ivermectin administration, it produces swelling and the pruritus at ventral line, and this is only because of the hypersensitive reaction produced due to dead parasite. So this is going to give you the clue the parasite is drug is starting killing. Regarding the dog, it is also used to treat microfilaria in dog. This neonatal pig ivermectin is toxic. Regarding the dose is concerned, for cattle and swine, cattle and swine, in the injectable preparation, it is better to use only subcut, not IV and IM. So not advised to use IV and IM ivermectin in case of cattle and swine. Regarding the horse, ivermectin we usually prefer to use by oral route, only by oral route. Regarding the clinical use is concerned as a insecticide, so it is against the roundworm, lungsworm, and a species that we already mentioned. Regarding the dose is concerned, the dose of the drug is the low for the dog, 0.3 to 0.02 to 0.03 mg subcut, oral or orally if needed repeat on day 14. For horse, cattle, sheep, goat, bird, which come about 0.2 mg per kg oral IM or subcut. But I have mentioned already for the administration of ivermectin in cattle and swine, other than subcut is not administrable for parenteral route. So this is important. Now we have to go through the second antibiotics, that is the milbemycin, that we are going to discuss here. Regarding the milbemycin is concerned, under these the two drug is coming, milbemycin oxime and milbemycin B. Milbemycin B is also called moxidectin, and milbemycin oxime. So again they are structurally related to ivermectin, that I'm not going through much more about that. Mechanism of action we already discussed the same with the ivermectin. Regarding the milbemycin is concerned, this is the ferment product of Streptomyces hygroscopicus aureolacrimus, aureolacrimosus. So this is the product fermentation product of Streptomyces hygroscopicus aureolacrimosus, and the available milbemycin oxime is the mixture of 80% milbemycin oxime A4 and milbemycin oxime A3 is the broad spectrum, is insecticide, means ectoparasite and endoparasite. Less potent against the heartworm compared to ivermectin. They are acting against the hookworm, heartworm, roundworm, whipworm, and also against the ectoparasite like arthropod, like demodectic mange. And it is better to administer orally, so orally administered, and effective up to 45 days of the infection. So this is very important for the heartworm, that is the Dryrofilaria immitis. Second important point is that this is rather not toxic like the breed in Coolie. So for Coolie breed milbemycin oxime should be administered, and their efficacy, their safety margin is up to 20 times at the recommended dose. So this is milbemycin is preferred in Coolie breed of drug, and we have to use in place of ivermectin, that is the milbemycin oxime. Treated the dog for microfilariasis, and this milbemycin oxime is safe to use in the pregnant and lactating animal. This is very interesting and important. Milbemycin is safe to use in pregnant and lactating animal. Clinical use that we already mentioned, primarily for the dog as a preventive and treatment and control of GI nematodes and heartworm infection, and for the ectoparasite demodex infection. In cat, Dryrofilaria infection and the treatment of Toxocara cati. And the dose is concerned, the dose is 0.5 mg per kg orally once in a month. Now we have to go, this is for the prevention and treatment of heartworm and the treatment of GI nematodes. For treatment and of demodectosis, this is 0.5 to 1 mg per kg orally daily. Now we have to go through the moxidectine, or this is called milbemycin B. This is the semi-synthetic anthelmintic obtained from the nemadectin. So this is important one. This is broad spectrum and active against the nematodes and ectoparasite in species like dog, cattle, sheep, horses. Active against GI roundworm, pinworm, lungsworm, heartworm, cattle grub, mite, lice, hornflies, and horse stomach bots. And also have one important property is the longer duration of action because of its lipophilicity. So lipophilic nature, this milbemycin B is longer duration of action. This is also not toxic to coli breed of the dog, and we have to use in this breed for microfilaria or heartworm infection. Moxidectin or milbemycin B is not recommended for young, like young horse, small pony, debilitated animal. So this is actually advisable for all the animal that is either young and debilitated. We don't prefer to use the anthelmintic suddenly. We have to give something. Moxidectin is not approved to use in food producing animal and calf less than 8 weeks of age. The dose is concerned for ectoparasite for cattle, sheep is 0.2 mg, for horse 0.4 mg orally, for dog 0.025 to 0.3 mg per kg orally, for heartworm prophylaxis measure, dog 0.003 mg per kg orally once in a month. So this is all about the antibiotics. Now we have to go through the imidazothiazole. So imidazothiazole, and the last in this one that today I'm going to try to finish up to that one, that is the first one is the imidazothiazole, and the second one is the under this this is also the derivative of imidazothiazole is the tetrahydropyrimidine. So these two are possessing quite similar mechanism of action in the worms and worm selectivity than the mammals. So under this, the drug that we already discussed, drugs are tetramizole and levamisole. So initially the drug that appear in this imidazothiazole was tetramizole, or you can say the first drug or prototype of the drug, and this is primarily act for बता दो GI nematodes. So tetramizole is chemically or structurally racemic mixture. Which type of racemic mixture? Racemic mixture of levo and dextroform. So the tetramizole is the racemic mixture possessing two optical isomer, that is the levo or dextroform. So why we are going to mention this much? Because the levorotatory or levo form of the tetramizole is therapeutically active. So therefore, levo form is to be used, and later on the levo form is only separated from the tetramizole, and that we call it the levamisole. That is called levamisole. That is the levo form of tetramizole. Is the levamisole, because the dextro form is inactive or not showing activity against the worms. So why we have to use? Why we have to keep it? So levamisole was isolated or separated. Regarding the tetramizole, dose is concerned for dog 2 mg per kg subcut. Levamisole, now we have to go through the levamisole that we already discussed. That is the L isomer of the DL tetramizole, means dextro and levolatridine of tetramizole, and having the greater safety of margin. Levamisole is available in phosphates and hydrochloric salt form and is immunomodulator, very important, is a immunomodulator and active against benzimidazole resistant parasite also. So this is very important point. If the benzimidazole get resistant to the nematode, against that resistant nematodes the levamisole is active. So therefore levamisole is important. Second important point is immunomodulator. So this is about the levamisole. Regarding mechanism of action is concerned, that I am going to explain. So this mechanism of action is quite similar of the imidazothiazole, as well as the next to that one is the tetrahydropyrimidine. Their mechanism of action is also quite similar to this one. Only few things is different that we are going to mention here. So what this drug is going to do in the parasite, levamisole is going to bind to the N-acetylcholine receptor. In N-acetylcholine receptor of the helminth or nematode, where it present on the muscle membrane of the nematode. This N-acetylcholine receptor is present. This N-acetylcholine receptor gate or this receptor gate is open by the acetylcholine. So therefore this is called acetylcholine gated cation selective ion channel, because the receptor gate is only open when the acetylcholine is going to attach, and therefore ion get entered. Which type of ion? Cation ion. And when cation ion get influx, this will produce the depolarization, muscle contraction and the paralysis of the worm. So again I am going to repeat this same thing about the levamisole. Levamisole is opening the cation channel gate. That cation channel gate constituting the N-acetylcholine receptor. So when this cation channel gate open by the levamisole, influx of cation occur, which lead to depolarization and therefore muscle contraction, and therefore finally lead to paralysis. In addition to that, they also inhibit the enzyme fumarate reductase that we already mentioned. This enzyme is participating in the energy system for the worm. Regarding therapeutic use is concerned, levamisole is a broad spectrum anti-nematodal activity and action against larva also and adult also of the GI roundworm and lungs worm in cattle, sheep, goat, swine, poultry. And this levamisole is not active against the tapeworm, fluke and protozoa. So this is very important. Similar to the ivermectin or similar to the macrolide antibiotic, they are not acting against the platyhelminthes. This is also not active against the levamisole is not active against the tapeworm, flux, and in addition protozoa. So see here, we already discussed about this. This drug is not active against the platyhelminths. So that we already discussed. Not active against the platyhelminths, like the tapeworm and fluke. So likewise here with the levamisole, this is also not active against the flukes and tapeworm. So both are having the same in efficacy, not efficacy against the platyhelminths. But in addition, protozoa also. They are immunomodulator, particularly cell-mediated increasing T lymphocyte. But I have also found that it appears that the levamisole restore the depressed immune function of the B lymphocyte, T lymphocyte, monocyte, and macrophage. Regarding resistance is concerned, it may be associated with loss of cholinergic receptor. Means that this is the target of the drug. What is the target of the drug? N-acetylcholine receptor. So what is this N-acetylcholine receptor? Is the cholinergic receptor. So this cholinergic receptor, N-acetylcholine receptor, is rather deficient in resistant nematodes, and therefore levamisole will not be act. So this way the parasite become resistant against the drug. Now we have to go through the other thing about the levamisole is more toxic on parenteral administration. So this is important. So levamisole is more toxic on parenteral administration. So avoid to use through the parenteral administration, and it is better to use through the oral administration or topical administration as compared to the parenteral one. Drug is contraindicated in weak and severely debilitated animal. So this is very important, and lactating animal, because most of the anthelmintic we have found that in debilitated and weak animal, be cautious to use it because they are going to create problem with the animal. So this way this become very important. Regarding drug interaction is concerned, levamisole should not be used with other nicotinic like compound because the receptor is N-acetylcholine receptor, cholinergic type of receptor. So parental, morental, or they are acting in the same way. The parental belongs to that I already mentioned, pyrimidines, tetrahydropyrimidines. So they are acting in the same way, and they are going to be not used simultaneously together. Also not to be administered in the patient who has taken the organophosphorus compound 14 day up to 14 day. And regarding fertility, it has been seen that the administration of levamisole along with the chloramphenicol, it produces fertility. So chloramphenicol with levamisole concomitant or together administration is not advisable. So this is very important. Now it is used for the treatment of nematode infestation in cattle, sheep, goats, swine, poultry. Also used occasionally in dog to treat the microfilaria against Dirofilaria immitis, and use as a bolus, drench, feed additive, even subcut you have to use. Regarding dose is concerned, which is live cattle and sheep 7.5 mg subcut or orally a single dose, inside the same 7 to 8 mg orally in feed and drinking water, in pig 5 to 8 mg orally, and in poultry it is more, that is 25 to 50 mg per kg orally. Then the last one is the tetrahydropyrimidine. Regarding tetrahydropyrimidines is concerned, the example is parental, morental, auxental, that we already discussed. And I already discussed the tetrahydropyrimidine is the derivative of the previous one, that is the imidazothiazole, and is broad spectrum. That means ki their mechanism of action is quite similar to the imidazothiazole. They are selective cation ion channel open, whereas this is this we have mentioned in the mechanism of action of the levamisole that the gate is open, and the name of the gate is the selective cation ion channel. Here in this case, no doubt, this is the N-acetylcholine receptor, cholinergic receptor in with the tetrahydropyrimidines, but they are non-selective cation channel opening. And of course, they are going to produce the paralysis, but non-selective. That we are going to show you. So they are active against the nematode, not active as injection. And as we know, the better to avoid levamisole by injection route. The salt for parental is the tartrate and pamoate. Pamoate is also imbonate. And parental salt in aqueous form is unstable because they are photosensitive. Therefore, the solution should be used immediately after preparation as a drench. Regarding mechanism of action that I already mentioned, they are opening the cation channel, but the cation channel is non-selective cation channel. And which type of cation channel? This is the same of the previous one, that is imidazothiazole N-acetylcholine receptor, that is called nicotinic acetylcholine receptor. But their gate open is called acetylcholine gated selective cation channel. Here non-selective cation channel. This is the only difference, and they produce the spastic paralysis of the worm. And along with this, one additional activity have the it inhibit the enzyme cholinesterase. So cholinesterase inhibitor is also this parental, or all the drug belongs to parental, morental, occidental. Active against the adult GI nematode as well as the larval stage, reside in the lumen and mucosal surface. Parental is showing no activity against the cestode and trematode. So this is important one. That we already have seen, even the ivermectins, I mean ivermectin or milbemycin, that is the antibiotics, they are not acting against the platyhelminth. Levamisole is also not active against the platyhelminth. Similarly, this is also not acting against the trematode as well as cestode. But in horse, at high dose, they show activity against the tapeworm. So this is important one. Safety index is high, that is greater than 20 times, and in horse, particularly in horse, and 7 times in other species. For dogs, this drug is to be recommended for dogs and pigs, parental pomade, and even this is safe to use parental in young puppies and pregnant and lactating elements. So this is good thing. Regarding contraindication is concerned, should not be used in the again debilitated and weak animal. So this is very, very important, because they are going to produce the cholinergic action become pronounced for the animal in which you have given the drug, and it produce toxicity there. The drug interaction is concerned, because the same action is similar to this imidazothiazole, so therefore should not be given together, and also with the organophosphorus insecticide. Clinical use is concerned, this is approved for horse, pig and dog. A small animal effective against the hookworm and roundworm. For nematode treatment, dose is 5 mg per kg orally for 3 weeks. For dog and cats, and 14.4 mg per kg as a pemoate orally, and this is as a base. Horses 6.6 mg as a parental tartrate orally. For cattle, sheep and goat 25 mg per kg parental tartrate orally. But 10 mg per kg orally, repeat in 10 days. Other drug is the Morental. So this is all about the today class.